This is Helldivers 2, and what a behemoth of a game this is. I was not expecting this. This was not on my radar at all. The only reason I knew about it was because of its funny intro cinematic trailer that they've been playing at Game Awards and other game showcase events. But I had zero interest and hype for this game, especially since it's coming out in February alongside such a mountain of titans alongside of it. You know, you got games like Yakuza, Persona 3, like, I'm busy here. Like, I was not planning on playing this. And man, am I glad I did. This game is a must-play game. I don't care what type of games that you are into. At least give this game a try on Steam or something if you have a PC. If it's not for you, refund it. But this game is unlike any other I've played, and it really does such a good job of making you feel like you are the star of an action movie at all times. I have around 60-70 hours in the game already. I've been playing non-stop. I had to pry myself away from the game just to get this video started, and I assure you, I'm going to be playing a lot more of it before I finish editing this video. I cannot get enough. And today, we're going to be kind of going over why it is so good. Think of this as not a review, but kind of just like us looking at the game and finding out what makes it work so well. Because it really does feel unique.
And it cleared up the atmosphere so much. Oh my god. So if the screen's ever getting clogged like that, we gotta look out for one of those fucking guys.
One thing I gotta say right off the bat, though, is that this game, while it can be played solo and enjoyed solo, which is what I did for my first few hours with the game, it was a really good time. But after playing with friends, it was made abundantly clear that this game was developed from the ground up with a cooperative experience in mind. So you will 100% get the most out of this if you play with friends or even randoms. Now, I know that can be said for most things. Yeah, you can have fun throwing a stick at a tree as long as you have a friend with you while you do it. But there's a difference between enjoying a game with friends and playing a game that was designed to be played with friends. And this game was 100% designed to be played with friends. Randoms will get the job done just fine. Like, you don't even have to have communication. Just everyone will get that cooperative experience out of it and will work towards completing the goal, and it will just work so well. So just keep that in mind. If you do not want to interact with anyone, period, you'll still get a decent bit of fun out of this game, but do not expect to enjoy this nearly, not even remotely, as much as the people that are playing cooperatively. Just getting that out of the way right now. Now we'll talk about the highlight of the game, and the feature that you will be interacting with the most, the stratagem system. Stratagems are ways that you can call in artillery like you're seeing now, but it isn't limited to just artillery and explosions. You can call in heavy weapons like heavy machine guns, flamethrowers, arc throwers, explosive sniper rifles, things like that. You can also call down sentry guns, mine emplacements. There's a little jet fighter called an Eagle that you can call down for almost instantaneous activations of things like napalm or cluster bomb placements, things like that. Now, you activate this by holding control on PC, by the way. You hold control by default, and then it pulls up all of your stratagems in the top left corner. And each stratagem has a unique code that you plug in for them. These are tied to your movement keys, so WASD on PC. Once you put in the right combination, the stratagem is active, and then you throw it on the ground to call it in. Now, you need to learn how to play around these. The game revolves around these. Landing a perfect precision strike on a heavy enemy, like right there, is something that just gives you so much dopamine. It is, I cannot control, it feels so good. You have to experience it yourself. If the game is ever on sale, it's not a full price game anyways, but I'm going to be saying this all throughout the video, just try the game out if you are playing on PC. I know PlayStation doesn't allow refunds as easily, but if you just are curious at all, buy the game on Steam. It's like 40 bucks, it's not a full price game, and just try it out. But anyways, stratagem system is just phenomenal. This next part is what makes the game truly feel good in my opinion, and it's all the small things that make you feel like you are a soldier with the odds stacked against you. First off, let's talk about the weapons, the things that you're actually going to be shooting. Those all have hidden ergonomic values that make sense, like your pistols and shotguns being able to snap from one target to another without any penalty, while your long barrel DMR and things like a heavy machine gun will have a bit more weight behind it, making snapping to targets a bit more tedious of a task, with the payoff being the damage and precision that comes with owning those weapons and using them in combat. Now, I want you to pay attention to the clips on screen as I talk, because they also demonstrate a bunch of small design touches coming together to make a thrilling and desperate scenario for any player. Watch the lasers flying by my head as I run. Those aren't just for show. They aren't calculated to miss you. They can and will kill you often, making this bold retreat through an open field that much more exhilarating as I hunt down the next piece of cover that I can find respite behind. Watch as the explosions kick up dirt around me, and the reflections of the lasers and muddle flash shine in the water, not only making me feel more immersed, but also giving me information on the location and distance of immediate threats while I have my back turned to them. I really did mean it when I said you feel like you're in an action movie all the time. It's just all so desperate, and you can feel that desperation weighing in on you in the heat of combat. But at the same time, the player thrives off that desperation. It's that exact desperation that creates the enhanced feelings of relief, satisfaction, and adrenaline even possible in the first place once you manage to survive the seemingly impossible. The tense nature of every scenario is created from not only being outnumbered, but actively knowing that you're outnumbered and outgunned, and being tasked with finding a solution to a problem that only took seconds to emerge. Being able to think on your feet and on the move, reflexively pick out the best available place of retreat while balancing just the right amount of shooting back with running for your life, all comes together to make heaps of unforgettable moments alongside your comrades that experienced all those same feelings alongside you. This scenario right here that you're watching is me trying to keep the bugs at bay for as long as I can while my team is getting the ICBM set up as quickly as possible. Knowing that keeping them at bay forever is impossible is part of the learning curve, but we bought a lot of time in the process, and by the time the fight made its way to the objective, we had already made considerable progress towards the launch of the missile, and the whole team was fully loaded and ready to fight alongside me. That doesn't mean the fight is made easy though. Usually when you're delaying the enemy force's advances to buy time, you're shaving away at the front of the pack. But once they break through the gates and get to the rest of your team, that's when the fight actually begins. We are all fighting for our lives, trying to find the right role to fill in real time. Should I target the heavies? Is my friend going to focus the horde of small fries if I do? Questions like this are racing through your head at all times, and playing with the same squad over and over again leads to these questions being answered unanimously in split seconds without a word ever being uttered. This game forms chemistry very well. All of this payoff comes hitting you like a wave of relief when you finally see that mission complete show up on screen. But you are not done yet. You still have to make it to extract. Now technically, you could all die here. And if you run out of extracts and lose, there is no such thing as losing, because it'll be a mission complete. Extracting is only important because it'll give you more rewards, such as XP, requisition slips, things like that. It will basically give you more rewards, because it counts as one of the endgame statistics, how many people extracted successfully. You do not need to make it to extract for a mission to be completed, but getting to extract is the cherry on top. It's your victory lap. You're not always going to make it to extract, but knowing that it's extra, knowing that it is your way out, makes everything feel so alive. And honestly, making it to extract sometimes feels more important than the mission completion, just because you want to make it out of there. You want to savor this victory by flying away in the Pelican as hordes of enemies gather around the landing zone as you make it out by the skin of your teeth. Those moments are just as cinematic and breathtaking as launching the ICBM during that horde of enemies that's trying to prevent us. I hope that all painted a good picture of what you're signing up for when you get into this game, because that is the essence of this game, experiences like those. But we can start talking about some of the smaller things that I find deep appreciation in this game, such as armor hitboxes. Did you know that every enemy you fight has not only an armor value associated with its hitboxes that are, all over them, such as fleshy bits, armored bits, that different types of ammo can affect, but they also have angular values to them. If you shoot an enemy head-on that has semi-heavy armor with a explosive weapon that is designed to take out light armor, if you shoot them at the right angle, you can cause damage if it hits flat and digs in. But even if you're using a weapon that is designed for heavy armor that isn't explosive, we're talking about large bullets here, large explosive tipped bullets even. If I were to shoot this charger currently chasing me in the face with something like that isn't obviously a rocket that'll explode on contact, I could hit it at an angle where it just bounces off. As you can see, its shell is completely designed for bullets to bounce off the top and head upwards. You can not only see your bullets bounce off in real time, but the game's UI will also notify you that your bullets are bouncing. Now, this can be remedied. This giant Bile Titan you're seeing me fight right here,
Like a dick,
I
dude.
could have a smaller caliber weapon and aim directly for its jaw or open mouth to inflict damage. Now, it wouldn't be as much damage as the rocket itself is doing, but I can make a scenario work if I'm using the physics to benefit me. Every single enemy you see is also destructible. This Bile Titan chasing me has the ability to do heavy damage and slow me down with its spit. But it also has sacs underneath its hard shell near its stomach, abdomen, and ass. And if you blow those out with any kind of weapon, because there has very little armor there, even my shotgun that is designed for fleshy bits and no armor whatsoever can tear apart those bile sacs, rendering it unable to spit at me and only able to use its claws from then on. This can be applied to so many different enemies, like tearing apart their legs to render them immobilized, or outright killing them because their weight is too much to bear for only 3 legs instead of 4. Here's also a fun, feel-good clip of me digging a 500 kilogram bomb into the leg of a Bile Titan, killing it, and myself, honestly, instantaneously on detonation. Watch it as it dives into the leg. Did that not feel incredible to watch?
Did you see that?
How cool is it that you can do stuff like that in this game? It's those small things that really enhance it, I'm telling you. Now let's talk about the environments. Oh my god. Keep in mind, I have not seen all the environments, but it is seeming like there is a new environment for every planet. And while there might be some similarities, like one planet might be a forest and another planet might be a forest, those forests are not going to be the same. There is a planet that we are currently fighting for automatons with, where it is literally just, there's no sun. The lighting comes from us lighting the atmosphere on fire around the planet, and that's how we're able to see in, and it is beautiful. There's also planets that are just completely snowy, barren wastelands. Every planet has a completely distinct environment from another planet, and there's a lot of planets in this game. I cannot wait to experience them all, honestly, because I'm just excited to go to different locales. This isn't all visual either. On snowy planets, you can run into ice and snowbanks and little frost plants that all have effects. The ice will make you and enemies slide on it, which you can use to your advantage. The snowbanks will slow you down, as well as smaller enemies, while benefiting the bigger enemies. So you need to plan your routing. If you literally are running behind a teammate in the heavy snow, they will knock it down so that the teammate behind can actually run faster. That is attention to detail. That is absurd attention to detail. We're talking Red Dead Redemption 2 territory here. Not nearly as close, let's be real. But it is entering that kind of detail when we're talking about how much attention they're paying to it. I am extremely impressed by the advances these developers have made in this video game. It is nothing to scoff at. If the game isn't for you, fine, but you cannot deny the love and passion they've poured into this. It is insane how much work they've done here. The game is also just filled with naturally funny moments. Like, just watch this clip. I'm not even going to talk over it.
I now realize that I can carry the backpack and a weapon.
Oh shit! We gotta run.
Why would you do that?
I did not mean to. I was pinging something on the map and it was in my hand.
No, Texan! Texan, not that way! Texan! He's dead. How many team kills have you had this match?
That looks so fucking funny. Oh my god.
But let's talk about some systems in the game. Primarily, the map system. So, basically, we have a wide map. Oh, hold on, this is actually new. Real-time breaking news, people. Hi, it's me in post filling out the dead air. But this is essentially a development that the community triggered by clearing out the Orion sector. So as we do more and more missions, we work towards liberating planets. And whenever we liberate a sector, such as the barrier planets, for instance, something new will change in the system. We got benefits from that, such as decreased stratagem cooldowns, but now the automatons are pushing at us from a different front. I am back from reading those messages. Basically, the entire galaxy is split up into sectors surrounding Super Earth. Now, at the launch of the game, we had the Orion sector and the Severin sector. We completely liberated the Orion sector, so the more we work on these planets, the more progress we make, and once a planet is completely liberated, we can no longer travel to it because there is no more threat there. Once an entire sector is completed, that usually means we complete a major order. So if you look in the top right, the entire player base of Helldivers 2 is working towards a major order right now, and we have 14 days to complete it. I do not know what happens if we fail a major order. I imagine the sector gets taken over. But we did clear out the Orion sector, and as a result, we had bonuses, like having free incendiary mines for everybody, and we had a little bit of decreased cooldowns for our stratagems. We also unlocked the Umlaut sector, which brings to us a new slew of planets, Arata, Fenrir, Meridia, and Turing. Now, these all have different environments. One thing I did notice, though, is that Meridia shares an environment with Mantes, at least in their thumbnail. I imagine this means they have the same environment, which means that not every single planet in the game will have a truly unique environment. Some will be the same. I personally think that there is a lot of environments in the game already, and they are all well fleshed out and not they aren't really filler at all. None of them feel like copy and pastes unless they are the exact same. I haven't actually dropped into a mission on Mantes yet, so I can't confirm if it's the same right now, but that's a lot of different environments in the game. Now, the reason the Tsar sector even opened up for us is because we cleared the Orion sector and then a new alert popped up. That's what you saw me reading earlier. Apparently, the automatons are launching an offensive, and they managed to advance from the Severin sector to the Tsar sector. I imagine this was possible because 90% of the player base was focusing on Terminids during the first week, because liberating the Orion sector was our major order. So there was like less than 1% progress liberated here, allowing them to push out into the Tsar sector. I'm very excited to see where all of this goes a month's time from now. This map is probably going to be much more fleshed out, with more conflicts popping up all over the galaxy.
Our next victory rapidly approaches.
Now, let's talk about the terminals. This is where your stratagems are going to come in handy. So, as you play missions, you will get medals, which is a currency, and then you will get requisition slips, which is a currency used to unlock more stratagems. Now, they might add more in the future, but it was a bit of a lengthy grind to unlock all of these. I do have them all unlocked, and these are where you get things like your special weapons, your orbital strikes, your eagle bombs, things like that, like sentry guns. All of that is in your stratagems thing here at Ship Management. Now, in your missions, you're going to be getting these three resources up here. Samples. You got common, rare, and super. You get commons at every difficulty. Rare you only get at difficulties 4 to 9, and then supers you only get at difficulties 7 to 9. Keep that in mind. You use these samples to unlock permanent upgrades to your stuff. This can be things like with your turrets. It reduces the deployment time for all sentry stratagems. I also have one that increases the ammo reserves they have and makes it so that they rotate faster. I just purchased the synthetic supplementation so that there's even less of a cooldown for sentry emplacements and resupply stratagems. Now, this is where a majority of your resource grind is going to come in. As you can see, I've already unlocked all stratagems pretty early on, but right now I'm going to be hunting down samples to get the rest of these unlocked. This is going to take a little bit to unlock them all. They are not necessary, but they do make a big difference once you unlock them. Now, let's talk about the acquisitions. This is your main form of progress. It might look like a battle pass because it is structured like one. As you complete missions, you unlock medals. In the top right corner, you can see I have 137 of these. You will spend your medals in your acquisitions on things called war bonds. So right now you're seeing the regular war bond called Helldivers Mobilize. Here, you can get different weapons. You can get different armor. You can get grenades, different cosmetics, emotes. You can even get things called boosters that will benefit your entire team, and they are not consumable. Once you unlock a booster, you permanently have it and can apply it to any mission you go in when selecting the loadout. For instance, you can get the Hellpod optimization, which makes it so that your entire team will have full ammo reserves, full stims, full grenades, everything will be full on spawn. Now, there is a premium warbond you can get called Steeled Veterans. I imagine these will be swapping out because this is a live service game, so they're either going to be swapping out warbonds, both premium and regular, or just adding new ones to the game. Now, in order to unlock the Steeled Veterans, you need 1,000 of the premium currency called Super Credits. Yes, there's a premium currency. You can spend money to get them in-game. 1,000 is around $10. But do not worry, you can earn all of these in-game. You can actually find super credits in missions. There's going to be plenty of things called points of interest around your missions, and if you visit those, there's a chance that there will be super credits there. I have earned quite a bit through that. I have not spent a dime on the game aside from the entry price of $40. I did not get the deluxe edition. I am on standard. You will have the premium warbond instantly unlocked if you get the deluxe edition though. I did not do that. I just saved up 1,000 and I still have 300 to spare to unlock the premium one. Now there is a superstore where you can get other cosmetics and armor for super credits after you buy your premium or before if you want the armor more than you want the bond. But yeah, you can earn super credits in game and you can actually buy them from the regular warbond. And I think if you buy all of the super credits in the regular warbond, it comes out to around 750, which means you only need to find 250 in game if you want the premium warbond. Now, is this pay to win? I don't know. I'm not the person to ask about that because I play this game much more than a normal person would. I've already sunk around 60 hours into it and it hasn't even been a week since release yet. I stream and do YouTube as my primary form of income, so I spend a lot more time on games than most people do. I have no comment. Sure, you're going to unlock things faster if you spend real life money, but I had no issue unlocking it completely free of charge. So I will let you decide that however you want. That being said though, armor has different values. Let me go talk about this real quick. So you can choose between armor, helmet, and cape. Helmet and cape are completely cosmetic. It seems like they might add some armor passives to the helmets because they have a little thing here, and they have it for capes as well. Maybe that'll come in the future, but armor is what really matters here. So there's 3 different types. There's light, medium, and heavy. And these all have different stats, like even amongst themselves. Like not all light armor is equal. Here you can see that my infiltrator set has more armor, but less speed than my regular Trailblazer scout set that I would be running for light. Medium obviously has more armor, less speed than light. These can change. And then heavy obviously has more armor and less speed than medium. Now on top of that, your armor has passives. As you can see from my light armor, I have the scout passive that lets me ping the map and it'll drop a marker on the map for everybody, but it will also have a radar generate from my ping and scan for enemies. I also aggro enemies 30% less, which is great if you're doing solo play or if you do kind of want to fill in for that sniper role and assist your team from the backlines without drawing aggro. There's also another one here like Democracy Protects. 50% chance to not die when taking lethal damage, and prevents all damage from bleeding of chest hemorrhage. There's all sorts of different passives in this game, and there is a bunch of different armor sets you can get from the standard warbond that give you access to all of these armor passives. The premium warbond is mainly for cosmetics and for different weapons, although personally from all the weapons that I've used in the premium warbond, I do not use them because I prefer the regular warbond weapons much more. Now let's talk about the weapons though. There is a bunch of different weapons here and they all feel different. These are all different liberators. One's AP, one is regular, like it's explosive, and the other one's regular. Now, this is all cool and everything, but it really doesn't matter unless you're fighting robots. I have noticed that for bugs, once you unlock the SG-225 breaker, this is all you're going to be using against bugs. There's really not much room for variation against bugs, just because you want to have the most destruction, the most flesh damage, just because of the sheer number of them. But when it comes to robots, you're given some choices here. Precision is better because, like I said, hitboxes matter, and every enemy has different hitboxes. And robots have much harder to hit critical spots than the bugs, but they are much more important. If I take this Diligence Counter Sniper, I would never take this against bugs. But if I take it against the robots, it has the potential to one-tap some heavier robots to the head. But, as I said, terrible decision against the bugs in my opinion. But all in all, each of these weapons feels different, and you can choose whatever you feel you want for your current situation. And I hope they do a little bit of a balance patch one of these days and get them on par with each other. That way we have more flexibility against bugs and robots. But, I mean, robots already have a bunch of flexibility. It's mainly for bugs. But I feel like a lot of these are underutilized. They all feel good, don't get me wrong, but some of them definitely outperform the others. I want this slug shotgun to be something I use against bugs, but I just can't justify it over the breaker. The breaker is just so strong for bugs. You also have secondary options you can get. Again, you get these from both your war bonds, both premium and regular. I personally like the Redeemer the most. And then you have a slew of different grenades, which I think the default is still the best in my opinion, just because it can clear out nests, but I go on. Those are basically all the different menus. Here you can see all the customizations. Here you see all the boosters I have, career for stats. There's a lot here. That's the meat of it. I could keep going on about this game and gushing about how much I love it. I'm very biased. I only make videos on games I like because I don't want to play the game anymore if I don't like it, for obvious reasons. But yeah, love this game. If you like it too, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. This took a while to make. If you do want to hang out live, I do have a Twitch in the description below. But aside from that, we're out of here. As always, I hope you all have a phenomenal day. I'm Hatterax, signing off. Peace.
Oh, was that one that you were... Ping that one again? Because I think you have a stalker there. Yeah, you pinged a stalker there. Okay, I got you. Watch out. Multiple stalkers.